Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher from We Are Film, and today we're going to be talking about a green screen music video we did. Now, we are actually releasing a full behind the scenes that'll go over how we set up everything, all the stuff we use, all the stuff we shot. So if you're not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe because that is a very cool video coming soon. It wasn't all green screen, so there's other stuff to go over too. But I wanted to just do a quick video about the lighting breakdown of the green screen and sort of how we went about lighting this on a budget. These are all fairly cheaper lights. I mean, obviously shooting a green screen is not a cheap thing to begin with, so this is a more, budget friendly version as best we could. But yeah, so basically we tried to keep it as simple as possible. We didn't have a ton of space. You can see this pole is right here in the way, so we really had to avoid that. It kind of came to help later, which we'll talk about in a second, but we need to keep it as simple as possible but effective as possible. So the first thing we did is we set up the green screen, and it's like, okay, how are we going to light the green screen? So we used two of these Genere light bars. I'm going to leave all the links down in the description below for all the lights we used. And these light bars are basically our background lights. So both of them are on either side, and they are hitting the green screen. They're soft lights, and we pretty much opened the barn doors wide open and tried to light this green screen as evenly as possible. Now down here got a little bit iffy, but it's not too bad. That's pretty good, especially when we went for the close-ups. It got a lot better. So those two lights are lighting the background, but also what's lighting the background and giving us our backlight is this top Genere light bar. So we face this like straight down so that some of it would spill and give them backlight, but some of it would also spill into the background and do that. Now, in a perfect world, these would be lower, so this light would have been lower to the ground, and we would have had two backlights, so that way it lit the green screen evenly and really hit them a little bit harder. Maybe even put it like a harsh light, like up here somewhere, and kind of go and give them some more backlight to separate them. But in this case, I was pretty happy with the way that this came out from a background perspective. And again, that's three lights. One's kind of doing the work of two, and yeah. So the other thing that happened was we had some natural fill going on because the ceiling was a white drop ceiling, and actually this pillar right here became somewhat of a bounce, good or not, but it sort of bounced a little bit of light back and made sure that our subject here wasn't completely, in darkness. If this wasn't here, we would have probably had to add some, and we probably could have anyway, but we wanted it to still have a little bit. I mean, that's not too much of a contrast right there. So then keying the entire thing was our Aperture 300D with the the Glow Parapop softbox. We didn't use the grid because I actually wanted as much light as I could here to light the two subjects. So I left that off, but also because any extra spill would bounce around and help just light the green screen. So again, we really only had this one key light, and the rest of kind of the ambience was help just filling in the rest of the green screen. And again, we didn't use the grid on that because, it just looked better right here. So yeah. So we also had a close-up or a closer shot. This is ungraded too, so you can kind of tell it looks a little wonky. But basically, it was the exact same setup. The only thing that we changed was we moved the key light in a little bit. So the key light was now closer, and same idea. So we had our reflections kind of coming, or our natural light bouncing around off the top of the ceiling and off the pillar. We also had those two backlights hitting the backdrop. This one was not as bright, which we noticed a little bit after. It was kind of harder to tell in camera. It hasn't given us an issue in keying at all. It's just something to think about. We probably should have put a light on the ground for these shots. And again, we had our backlight, which was helping sort of add that rim just to her right there. And you can kind of see, if I grab that color. Oh yeah, we'll grab that color. You can kind of see it's like poking like right there. It's like defining the weight. And then obviously our key is right there, but it's also just adding a little more shape. So yeah, it's pretty much that. And then again, you can see the key light here. The nice part was you can really see the key in this shot, the nice soft kind of like just on her arm there. And you can see it just nice and soft. So it's just creating that nice shadow. Not full on Rembrandt lighting, but pretty close to it. And yeah, that is pretty much the lighting setup. And it was super simple. It was really easy. We didn't have a huge budget to work with. So this is pretty much what we came up with. But I think it just goes to show you that you can light a green screen for fairly cheap. The Genere lights are really great lights. They're all fairly inexpensive in the scheme of things. But I mean, you could actually use like Quasar Science fluorescent tubes if you wanted to. Actually, I probably should have used them anyway just to add extra light. Because we probably could have lit, if you had a couple 4-foot ones, you could have done maybe 2 4-foots on either side, a 4-foot on the ground and a 4-foot up high. And I mean, that's like $600-$700 right there, and then a key light, and you'd have a really, really good green screen lighting kit. So yeah, so anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.